I'm Nicole King, and this is Marbella Now.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted.
We're going to start off today's programme talking about something that unfortunately is just increasing: scams. I don't think any of us are exempt from receiving weird phone calls, emails, and all kinds of posts on Facebook and other social media inviting us to give information that we really shouldn't be giving. I'm joined now by Lady Linda Woodin, who always comes to the programme on behalf of Age Concern, of the British Benevolent Fund and other charities. But today she's agreed to come to the studio to talk about how she's been scammed lately. And I have to say, this surprised me because Linda used to be the head buyer of a major department store group in South Africa. She's exceedingly intelligent, and yet somehow she's fallen into a couple of scams, and we want you to understand how this can happen. So, Linda, thank you for coming and agreeing to admit all these things that have been going on. It must be quite shocking for you, really.
Well, yes, it was a shock because I've actually been sort of scammed twice since I've been in Spain, and twice actually in the last
both recently.
seven or 8 months. And you helped me with the one scam because I didn't even realise I'd been scammed. I think it was Amazon, wasn't it? That I mentioned to you that my Amazon account had been scammed and this, that and the next thing, and some people were helping me. And you said, they are the scammers.
That's the thing, in the sense of, I believe, having analysed this and also recent events over the last few years, when we are scared, when people put fear into us, we lose all sense of logic. We find it very hard to think. In fact, our brains do literally come to a standstill. And this is the only reason I can think that scammers get away with it, because they ring with such insistence, such conviction, that it's hard to think that they could be scamming. So Amazon called you, Linda, and said that someone had spent 40,000, some exorbitant amount of money on your Amazon account, but they got you with this fear of what they'd spent on your account.
They were trying to spend on my account.
So they got Linda to download TeamViewer, which is a program that allows somebody else to access your computer.
Correct.
Not only did they get to access Linda's computer, they got her to open her bank account. Fortunately, it was Thanksgiving. Linda had a lunch at Yanks with her friends, and she came to the lunch and left them hanging in agreement to speak to them later. During the lunch, Linda was telling us about how she'd been saved from this terrible scam from Amazon, and as you said, Linda, it was like, no!
Yes.
So we then spent the next couple of hours cancelling credit cards, changing bank account numbers and codes.
Everything.
That must have been quite hellacious, no?
Well, it was absolutely terrifying. And first thing the next morning, I went into my bank and I said, this is what's happened. So we closed all the accounts immediately and we checked them. And what had happened was they had got into my computer because I had let them in through, as you say, whatever it's called. I can't remember. What did you call it?
TeamViewer.
TeamViewer, yes. And I could see this black bit of screen and them downloading all sorts of gobbledygook. And I did say, what on earth are you doing? No, don't worry, it's just us checking while you tell us exactly what's happened, because I think this is terrible and they should never do that. And I said, are you scammers? And they said, no, of course we're not. We're protecting you from the scammers. Anyway, that was not the worst one in the end, thanks to you. And the next one was a few weeks ago. I was looking through Marketplace, which is a Facebook website where you can actually sell houses, rent houses, buy and sell furniture, anything actually. And it's usually quite good. And I suddenly saw this lovely little house in Guadalmina, which is where I would like to be. And I responded and I said, I'm quite interested in renting this property. And they came back and they said, that particular property's gone. However, we have another one in Los Monteros, which is a fabulous area just outside Marbella. And I said, oh, well, that'll be interesting. I'd love to go and see it. They said, well, you need to put a deposit down if you want to see it. And let me see if we can let you have it as a long let rather than a week at a time, which is what we would normally do with this particular property. So I said, okay. And they came back and said, yes, no, we've decided we'll let you have it as a long let, but we need a deposit of €1,500. So I thought, well, that's a bit odd. So I went back and I said, have you got the address for me? And as I sent the 1.5, I also went to look at the property, and the address did exist, and the swimming pool was the same as the photograph, on the actual material that I was getting. And the woman said that she lived in the Canary Islands, so she couldn't actually show me the house herself, but she works with an agent called Renscrow. And so they then got in touch with me and gave me a bank account that I could put this 1,500 into.
Which you thought was like an escrow account.
Which is what they told me was an escrow account. And then they said, if you pay the first month's rent, bearing in mind I hadn't seen the property other than the outside, if you pay in advance, you'll get 10% discount. So I thought, well, that's a good deal. And all sorts of other wonderful pluses, like they'd pay for the electricity and the water and everything. So it sounded too good to be true, which it obviously was. Anyway, we agreed to meet on the 25th of March at 12 o'clock. So I duly turned up there and nobody appeared on the outside, so I pressed the bell. Nothing happened. Second time. The third time, a very nice Spanish man said, ¿Quién es? Which means, who's that? And so I said, well, it's Linda Wooden, and I've come to see the house that I'm going to rent. He said, I own this house. I'm not moving out, and it is my house, and I'm not renting it. And who is it that told you? So I said, it's Gloria. He said, you're the fourth person that's been looking for Gloria today. So I said, interesting. And he said, look, I think you should go and speak to my security for the Los Monteros area, which I duly did. And absolutely heartbroken that we realized that we had been scammed. And the bank account that was opened up 1 week before in France with a Russian man's name was subsequently closed within 48 hours of my money arriving there.
So you sent €3,000 in the end?
I spent €2,700.
Wow, it just goes to show, in the sense,
Yeah.
it's not just fear that can make us do crazy things. It's also thinking we've got ourselves an amazing deal. And again, I suppose, looking in general, to think that for €1,500 a month, one could get a 4-bedroomed house in Los Monteros with swimming pool, when nowadays that's kind of like the price for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
Was too good to be true.
Silly
Do you think
me,
it was
silly
that?
me.
Why did you think that you were that lucky that you got yourself such a good deal?
You know, you never know your luck, do you?
Okay.
Suddenly something kind of strikes you, and maybe they weren't aware of what the property prices were at that particular time in that particular place. I have no idea. But what I do know is that when I'd spoken to the security man, we called the police and they said, go and make a denuncia immediately. Well, I couldn't do that. I needed to go back to my bank and again shut my bank accounts and try and retrieve some of that money.
Any chance
And
of that?
No, they've just come back to me, in fact, a few days ago and said they can't do anything about retrieving it because the man who opened the account has emptied the bank account already. So what I'm planning to do is do my own research. I'm going to go through to the French bank and find out if we can get any details of the person that actually opened that bank account.
Perhaps make something to Interpol or to the
Well, this is
European
it.
Commission. This is
Yeah.
very frequent. I'm just like to comment that whenever someone says that they are away and cannot show you the apartment or the house, you can bet 99.9% of the time it's a scam. This is
are
the first
absolutely
basis.
right.
Nobody who wants to rent a place would expect you to pay sight unseen. It doesn't happen. So if nothing else, even if you think that, wow, yes, I'm that lucky, I've suddenly got a good deal. Sometimes it happens. But when they say that there's no one to show you the place and to pay first, it's not real. Linda, I'm so sorry for you.
Well,
And I'm
thank
very
you.
grateful for you to come and share your experience.
Well, a quickie is that within 24 hours of all that taking place, I did go and do the denuncia on the Monday, because that was the Friday. And I immediately went back home. And unlucky for them, really, I had already downloaded all the conversation that we'd had with both Gloria and this fictitious company, Renscrow, and everything to do with them. The emails, the email address, all the emails I had sent to them and they had sent to me had gone from my PC, which I have no idea how they've done it. And luckily, I had already taken a copy. And there's another poor person who now, her name and everything will be up on the, the sort of, I suppose it's a catalogue of names of people that are scammers.
Yeah, they probably don't use their own names.
No.
Everything can be fake. Please do protect yourself because people are out there to scammers. And asking them, are you a scammer? Kind of, they're not going to...
They're not
Yes,
gonna
I
say
am.
yes.
Anyway, Linda, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I do hope it gets resolved. Don't go away. We'll be back in a few moments with more of what's going on in Marbella Now.
Nice to see you.
John's car is still being repaired, so he's delighted that Judy has come to pick him up. However, after a very heavy business trip, he's less than enthusiastic when her car breaks down.
I ain't sure with Linear Director,
She tells John,
so please do relax. I've got this.
and she had. The taxi was there in no time. Her car safely towed for repairs, and a courtesy car readily available. Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 to see how they can better your life too.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody, nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? GY.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a Zero Hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Joining me now is Anna Bruno. I first met her through my dear school friend Noelle Bohorquez, who is Love Noelle Jewellery. I met Anna at one of Noelle's birthday parties at her lovely little house in La Virginia, which is for sale, by the way. And Anna is just a joyous human being. She makes and sells fans, abanicos.
Abanicos.
But you make them yourself, Anna?
Yes, well, I buy the fan and then I put my jewelry collection, and it's a fan that you can wear on the shoulder. So it's very practical, and it's different. It's not a fan as the usual with paint or everything. Now this is different. It's completely different.
It's a lovely concept.
Yeah, that's right. It's a jewelry fan. Yeah, that's
A
right.
jewellery fan. I mean, and I'm a fan of jewellery. Who
Yes.
isn't? And the little detail of being able to hang it, because we lose our fans. You put them in your bag, you put them on a table, and to have it hanging and then be able to pick it up and give ourselves a
that's
little
right.
fan is quite lovely. You're a very artistic person.
Yeah.
You're very creative. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with doing the fans and your story leading up to it.
Well, it was Noel Bojorque that told me to come to a small market in Hotel Fuerte many years ago. And in that moment, I was doing tabis. Tabis was socks, the Japanese socks. I made them with fabric lycra, with beautiful colors. They were very colorful, and this for winter works very nice because this is the kind of sock that you can wear with the flip-flops. It's a concept. I know it for Spanish people. It's like crazy, but it works for foreign people. And then in summer, she asked me to, Noel asked me to do anything different. So I thought about abanicos, about fans, and I started to make this fan collection, and the people really love them. From the very beginning, I made them like a color, like a necklace, but day by day I change a little bit. I make them with the lace, have the nuts correderos, that you can move the nuts, and they make the...
knots, so you can make them longer and shorter.
Yeah, that's right. So you can fix them to your size, and then you can put like necklace or like a shoulder, and every year I made different collections. I also made fans for garden, very nice, with Spanish fan, very good quality wood, always wood, and with really beautiful stones.
Where are you from yourself, Ana? You're Spanish.
Yes, I'm
Which part of Spain?
Yes, I'm from North Spain. And
I know that Andalusia, the fan is a very big part of the culture, the dressing. Is that the same in all of Spain?
Well, yeah. Well, not in North Spain because we don't use fan. But yes, the rest of the places, yeah, Valencia, the falleras, they were fan. This is the place where the fans are made. Valencia is the
home of the fan.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a whole language that goes with a fan. Do you know all the different things? Because if you put the fan up like this and look down, you can flirt, you can tell people to get lost.
Yes, but now these things are lost. This was in the ancient times. How did you make this with the fan?
When you weren't allowed to talk with the boys.
That's right.
So you have your lovely fan collection. We buy online or just when you sell at markets?
Well, I have a website, and now I'm preparing in international platform to sell them in different countries. And now I'm preparing. I think this will be ready at the end of May.
Fabulous.
Yes, and I have my own website. Now I have not the prices in my website, but if you want to contact me, you can do it by telephone. And
wonderful.
Yeah.
You also, which I think is very important for everybody who's not Spanish and living in Spain, giving Spanish lessons.
Yes.
And that is really, I mean, everyone should at least be able to say hola, adios, por favor y gracias.
Yeah,
At least. A few more words would be highly recommended.
Yeah.
So you've been, do you go to people's homes? Do they come to you? What's the format?
Well, I used to go to people's homes, or they come at my house if they want. But the fact is that the private classes are very good, because I can make them for each person different. I think my lessons are fun.
I don't doubt that. This lady is fun.
I think that these lessons are fun. You can learn, because I don't use the traditional method that you fall asleep in the class. Oh no, the verbs again. I know Spanish for English people, it's very, very difficult. I know it. So that's why I make these lessons fun, fresh, and I want the people talk.
So you concentrate on them being able to interact and talk.
Yeah, that's
not
right.
verbs, not this, just being able to help them
Okay.
have a basic conversation.
Yeah, that's right. And the verbs, I teach them the different way. I don't want people get bored or get bad thinking about, oh, yo soy tú eres, él es, you know, it's very difficult. I know, because I was studying French, and it's the same like Spanish, very, 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 the verbs and the grammar, it's very similar.
And the adjectives that changed according to the gender.
Right.
And in England, a table's a table. It's not a girl. You know, a car isn't a guy. So having suddenly,
Yeah.
and even the verb to be. In Spain, there's two verbs to be.
Yes.
Temporary, position or place.
Yeah, that's right.
Or permanent. But then death, I suppose, because of the Catholic religion, is the temporary verb, because very confusing.
It is.
Very confusing.
So I perfectly know for English are very complicated to learn the Spanish. But I made really, really fun and fresh classes, and all my pupils, they are very, very happy with these lessons, and they can talk a little bit.
I think that is just fabulous. That's exactly how it should be. Because then later, once you get into it and you want to then really concentrate on the verbs and all the rest of it, fine. But I do think it's like when you go to learn the drums or anything, unless they put you immediately to do something, people lose interest.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
be all
right.
theory. It has to be getting into it, and absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm concentrating in people speaking. And I think my method is very good.
I think so. I don't doubt that. And I have to say, your English is really good.
Wow.
As well as your Spanish. Delighted to see you again. It's been quite a few years since I've seen you.
Yeah.
So lovely to
so
see you.
cute last time, I think in Guadalmina.
Yes, yes. Time flies when you're having fun. And Anna always has fun. Whether she's making and decorating her beautiful jewelled fans or giving you Spanish lessons so that you can actually feel like you are a part of the country you're living in. Ana Bruno, eres una maravilla. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
And thank you, my dear, lovely Noel Bajorquez of Noel Jewellery. Also does beautiful things like this, for example.
Very nice.
Ana, muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Don't go away, no os vayáis. We'll be back in just a moment.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Tearing us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart. We can change every
Zero Hero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
word of your time.
I Casa Tua is proud to welcome the Zero Heroes. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
We are at
Hey, hey.
The other half of Excellence Art Gallery, Art Cafe, is the lovely Giuseppe Carnevale. I just love saying your name. Welcome back to the programme.
Giuseppe like G. It's a really pleasure to stay with you, Nicole, to stay with in your program, and to tell you the news. We consider all news good because we must be positive. It really is all moment must be to challenge and to discover a new frontier, no? Like we say,
Exactly.
New frontier, new experience.
Exactly. I have to say, the last time I saw you and Massimo, we crossed paths in the old town in Marbella, and Massimo and Giuseppe were literally running to see what they could do about this notification they weren't going to have their contract renewed. And just the other day, I suddenly thought, what happened? Did they resolve it? Are they in a new gallery? And I thought it important, as you guys are a very actually integral part of Marbella. You're very involved with the city. You very much support other artists. You have a lovely personality. You're warm, both of you. And you did such an effort to make something unique and suitable for Marbella that it really broke my heart too, to know that after all those years, you have to start again. But as you say, Giuseppe, you know, you have to put a positive twist on it.
Yeah.
And you're still doing a lot. So you're using your contacts, I imagine, running around more than ever.
Yes, true.
Setting up things. So tell me how you've been handling the last few months.
Last 2 months was, and what we live in this moment. We stay in the important moment of the gallery. We continually, that is important to say in the beginning, Excellence Art Gallery, Massimo Cedrini, and I, that boy Giuseppe, we continually to promote the artist. We promote and support emerging artists from Andalusian, international artists. So we continually, but we stay to moving our gallery for another place. So we stay into research, and we stay continually on the road, physically on the road, the contact with the agency, with the real estate, to find the right place, because the gallery is all shop, all market needed the right position, and for example, for the gallery we needed not only the space, we need a part of storage to put inside the painting when we don't show with this painting, because we have more than 300 paintings. So it's not only the painting we show outside on the gallery. Sometimes there is more of this painting. So, and of course we must stay, and we will find a good area, because we sell art. So we sell something prestigious, we sell emotional, and so we needed to stay in the first line, no, to propose all of this.
I imagine you have also a great relationship with local interior designers and architects and builders. Yeah. Do you think this is an opportunity to perhaps further develop those contacts, to go directly and get the artwork out there as well, maybe?
Exactly what you say. We work in this line. We positioned the painting and the artist, because the first actor are the artists. We are the base. We are the platform. No, with Massimo to push this artist, this best talent we managing. And of course, there is a different possibility to introduce this. There is the opportunity of interior design to introduce in the art project of architectural. We continually to work on the hotel in this moment, because we stay to opening a new collaboration. And after I will tell you something good, because we stay to prepare more exhibition. That is.
You're one of the very few art galleries that not only participates in our local Marbella exhibitions, which is really, really good of you guys, you also travel. And I don't think I've met many other galleries who go and travel as much as you guys do to promote not just Massimo's artwork, but the artists that you support.
Yeah. and we stay to move. We promote artists. We must consider it. For example, it's a pleasure because we are honest people. We are workers. We stay every time, and you know, from a lot of years, we stay every time on the market. So we have traveled. We was in the Luxembourg last year. We was in Monte Carlo, Monaco. We was in Düsseldorf. We was in Paris International Art Fair. We have confirmed it. That is a news, recently news of the day. We confirmed it, and we back in International Art Fair in Paris in January, in the finale of January. Of course, we want to stay in something other important art fair like Marbella Design. It's a very important art contest and design contest in the Building Congress. You know where we
yes,
where we was.
That's where I saw you.
Exactly.
Actually, I saw you there last time.
Yeah.
We did see you there. Well, listen, Massimo, Giuseppe, I'm so proud of you guys. Such likable people who really deserve to be successful. I'm really glad you're finding a way around it, that you're both so positive, so you.
We must be.
So molto bene, Montecatini.
Yes. In the line of Montecatini, a lot of people are positive like us. So we must be. We must, like say Massimo, that is we live, me and Massimo, that situation of stopped of the physical gallery like an experience, because it's true. I see in the true and on the people who listen in this moment my personal experience, and that is really the point of the question. What we considerate and the wrong interruption, a bad interruption of work is not this. We must consider it a right opportunity. And for example, that moment I stimulated myself to go more outside. For example, in finally of May, July, we have an important exhibition in Jerez de la Frontera, in the very aristocratical building in Jerez de la Frontera. We stay to prepare a very summertime event like in the hotel, in the suite, to create this magnetical ambient, charming people. So that it's a good opportunity for me, and I repeat once again for Massimo to reflexionate it and to impulse it
to grow
himself.
Grow and
to
expand, and a true example of the show not only must go on, but it is going on. Art Excellence Art Gallery is still open. It's still there, very much so. And all I can say is congratulations. We'll keep in touch, so any news we can share with our viewers, because you guys deserve to be successful. The people who support other people, and that's good people. Giuseppe.
The show must go on. Say like you say. We continually we back more strong. We will biggest. Nati will biggest than us.
Yeah.
So
the greatest showman. The greatest showman. Thank you so much.
Thank you really from my heart and from Massimo to show this moment on the people.
My absolute pleasure. Don't go away, because right now, following this wonderful chat with Massimo and Giuseppe, we're going to a restaurant where my lovely intern Dave Yen went to. It's called Cinema, and it's pretty cool. Take a quick look.
Alright guys, so I'm the designated driver tonight, so I'm going to choose the Zero Hero place. So all of my soft drinks are for free. And if you want to go somewhere else, just check out the Facebook, Instagram or the zerohero.es website for any of the bars, discotheques or restaurants on there. I'm happy to go anywhere you want to go, as long as it's Zero Hero.
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
My last guest, Anna Bruno, is just joyous, always smiling, such a happy person, even wants to teach Spanish in that philosophy. Well, more really fun, joyous people are Massimo Cedrini and Giuseppe Carnevale, two lovely Italians who moved to our city quite a few years ago to open up not just an art gallery, but also an art gallery with a cafe in it. It was amazing. They were successful. They hosted lots of other artists and promoted them too. And then just very recently, the owner of the building where they've been and built up this business over the last 6 years said he wanted it back. Now, this isn't the first person this has happened to, but it is tragic. And that's why I've invited Massimo and then after Giuseppe to come to the show to explain to us what happened and how they're dealing with it. Massimo speaks Italian, obviously. His Spanish is wonderful, but I'm not going to pressure him into speaking English, so we're going to do a little Spanglish interview, so please bear with us. Massimo, molto bene, Montecatini, spaghetti bolognesi.
Good morning a todos the only people. La única cosa que sé for English.
It's fine, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, I don't know speak English.
It's quite okay. Massimo, acaba de explicar que os han cerrado, así, sin más.
No es que nos han cerrado. Hemos tenido la mala suerte que han vendido el local, entonces el dueño no ha renovado el contrato y ahora estamos buscando otro sitio.
So the owner sold the building where Giuseppe and Massimo had the gallery, and of course they then didn't renew the contract. Habiendo invertido la pasión y el tiempo en crear esa fama de estar al lado del Palacio de Congresos, que puedes comer, que puedes beber, que puedes comprar arte, tiene que ser una desilusión enorme. It has to be heartbreaking. ¿Cómo lo habéis confrontado? Los vi a los pocos días, I saw you a few days after, y traumático no lo siguiente. I mean, really, really worrying.
Really, de verdad. Ha sido muy difícil, pero nosotros seguimos luchando y partimos siempre del presupuesto que nada es para siempre en esta vida. Todo va a terminar. Entonces, aunque esto ha terminado, tenemos que evidentemente encontrar otro sitio. Es de verdad muy complicado en esta zona de Marbella porque, como todo el mundo sabe, es la más riqueza. Entonces los alquileres suben a cifras que quien trabaja honestamente en el arte como nosotros que no vendemos el pan, lo siento, pero es de verdad complicado poder pagar cifras que nos piden.
What Massimo is saying is that obviously it was quite traumatic. They had to leave the gallery, but they're not giving up. And the important thing that Massimo is saying is that life is about change. Nothing lasts forever. And I think this is a beautiful philosophy with which they've approached this. Things don't last forever. Things have to change, and they're just changing with it. But obviously finding a suitable location where they can replicate what they had before with the prices of a city like Marbella skyrocketing, it isn't easy. Entre tanto, in the meanwhile, you're still exhibiting, but you're using alternative places. Entre tanto, seguís exhibiendo, pero buscando sitios alternos como Don Pepe.
Absolutamente sí. Con el gran mastino napoletano que es el director Giuseppe, que hace toda su conexión, que es insuperable en esto. Tentamos de conectar con otras situaciones para temporear hasta que no tenemos otra vez una galería. No sé si estará también anche el café, y yo espero que sí, pero lo veo muy complicado, al menos por ahora. Pero
otherwise I forget what he said. I forget what he said. In fact, I've already said. Yes, they're taking advantage, thanks to Giuseppe, who will be joining us in just a moment. He's the curator of the gallery, and he's also just an amazing manager. Massimo is the artist and has the artistic vision, but it is the curator and Giuseppe who puts it all together, and he's been really pulling in all the contacts that he's made over the last few years to be able to keep exhibiting, whether it be in a hotel and other places, but they do want to find another gallery. Whether they'll be able to incorporate Art Cafe as well remains to be seen, but that would be the objective. ¿Te sientes más tranquilo ahora? You feel a bit calmer now? Ya han pasado unos meses, a few months have gone by.
Sí, porque de verdad, como hemos empezado a desmontar todo el café, el corazón me daba de verdad tristeza. Pero al final no tiene que, el amor es por la vida y no tiene que enamorarte de una cosa en particular porque antes o después se va a desaparecer.
Massimo was saying that when they began to take the things out of the Art Cafe Excellence Art Gallery, that obviously it was very painful. And although now a couple of months have gone by and you take it in your stride, it was a very difficult moment. But again, life changes, things changes, and we can't hold on to things to last forever because nothing lasts forever.
Aparte la primera semana, 15, 10 días, ¿sí? Que estábamos sobre el problema, he dicho, ahora basta llorarse encima, vamos a solucionar el problema, empezando a buscar un otro sitio que, aunque si no es así de nivel, o así agradable, o así bonito, así justo, como podía ser la galería con l'Art Café, encontraremos algo. Todo no viene a caso en la vida.
Wonderful. Massimo is saying that they will find another place. If it'll be the same, if they'll be able to have the Art Cafe or not, remains to be seen. But he has full faith that they will be there again. But do not think that the Excellence Art Gallery has disappeared. It hasn't. They're still very much in force. They're still with their artwork. You can still contact them. You can still buy artwork. And if you have a place that is suitable to house them and their artwork, please contact them or myself. Massimo, vamos a dar el bienvenido a Giuseppe para que nos cuente los planes. He's got some great plans coming up for next year as well. Y seguimos en contacto.
Claramente, l'unico consejo que do que hay que seguir luchando nella vita e da toda la catástrofe nos enseña la storia que da cualquier catástrofe ha nacido algo de mejor. Entonces vamos a esperar que nazca otra galería, otro Art Café ancora más bonito, ancora más fuerte de antes.
Seguro que sí, seguro que sí. And Massimo's saying that when you're faced with tragedy, something that is traumatic, as undeniably this has been, the only thing you can do is pick yourself up and know that out of every adversity arises a new opportunity. I've got goosebumps, me da piel de gallina. It will happen, it will happen. Watch this space. Suerte, gracias.
Muchas gracias a ti que nos ayuda.
Y seguimos en contacto para any news.
Absolutamente.
We'll be sharing it with you.
Que se queda tranquila la gente que Excellence Art Gallery no va a desaparecer. Saremo presentes, anzi, más fuerte que antes.
They'll be back, bigger and better than ever. Just you see. Molto gracias.
Buenas noches a todos, buenas tardes. Gracias.
We are proud to present Zero to Hero. Never drink and drive.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
So here we are at Everest. Very cold.
Yeah.
Stickers going up.
Hiya, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
So, welcome to Sister Taperia. Perfecto.
Hola everyone, today I am back with another restaurant review. Today we are going to Restaurante Cinema in Marbella and I'm taking you with me. It looks very cute on the inside and it's called cinema, so everything is based on the cinema.
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate. We are all the same. So much trouble.
I ordered a beef entrecôte and that was €16.19 and it was very delicious. So I would definitely recommend that. And the place, the people that are working there are also very nice people. So if you are nearby Marbella Beach, go take a look at Restaurante Cinema and see you next time.
I have a curious story to share with you. There's a restaurant called Rafa, which is on the Paseo Marítimo, the promenade in San Pedro. And this bar, restaurant Rafa, has been there forever. It was one of the first places that opened, and the family that owned it, Rafa and his wife Michaela and their sons ran the place when they got a bit older. And then, unfortunately, a few years ago, Rafa passed away. The most amazing, tragic thing I found out is that at his funeral, his son passed away. So, I mean, like, surreal. The girls, the daughters and the mother couldn't carry on with the bar. It's now been taken over by a lovely couple, Jamal and Natalia. It's still called Restaurante Rafa. They still serve very traditional Spanish food, and it turns out it's the ideal place for age-concerned Marbella San Pedro to meet because it's all flat, it's easy to park. Last weekend was the walk in memory of Stephen Brooksbank. He was one of the founders. He was the instigator of Marbella San Pedro, and he's the one who convinced Tom to get on board and Linda and everybody else to get it going. Carol Woolnoth is the president at the moment. It's still going strong. Saturday was the walk in Stephen's memory, so I went along and I took just this little video, which I want to share with you because Stephen was an awesome guy, lest we forget. Age-concerned Marbella San Pedro has finally found a venue where they can hold their meetings that has easy parking, all on the flat, and wonderful food. Bar Restaurant Rafa, been on the Paseo Marítimo in San Pedro forever.
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate. We are all the same.
Under normal circumstances, he would have gone to the hospital and had a scan when he had his fall, and you know would probably have still been with us today because he was so fit. He walked everywhere, particularly up and down the Paseo, but all around San Pedro, all through Guadalmina, just everywhere, and everybody that he passed, he spoke to almost. And most of the people originally on the committee, well, all of the people I think originally on the committee were there because of Stephen, and still today a number of us are because Stephen recruited us. He was known as Mr. San Pedro locally. He was involved in so many different charities, not just Age Concern, which of course he was originally involved in the Estepona branch, until it was decided he and Tom and Don Lesser, who is sadly no longer with us, of course, decided that it would be much better, and Nikki Lloyd, would be much better if we had our own branch for Marbella and San Pedro, because there was just a gap.
Yes.
We had an age concern in Fuengirola and an age concern in Estepona, and no age concern for Marbella. And a lot of us, of course, live locally in Guadalmina, in San Pedro, in Nueva Alcántara, Nueva Andalucía. So it made an awful lot of sense to fill that hole, because particularly Guadalmina and going towards Cancelada, which is our boundary on that side, we have a lot of elderly people. And as you all know, many people come here as a couple, and sooner or later one of them becomes ill, or one of them dies, and someone is left alone. And particularly for the English community, I think, so many people haven't learnt Spanish while they've been living here, and they find it so difficult to cope with all the different complications of the bureaucracy, and just changing bank accounts from joint names into one name, changing all the paperwork with the house, and organising the funeral. All these things, if you don't speak Spanish, can be really quite overwhelming. So that's what Age Concern is about. We're here to help those people who need it. We have a number of people still in their 90s who we are helping to look after. And today is all about remembering that we are here really because of the impetus that Stephen gave us to do this. And we are particularly here because of the walking. Jeff and I used to bump into Stephen so often on the Paseo when we were walking our dogs, just by chance. And paella was one of his favourite things. So it's we're all going to have a lovely time. No doubt we'll all share memories of Stephen, those of us that knew him. But it's just to take one small moment in the year to remember him and how our branch came to be. So thank you all very much for coming and have a great time.
Thank you.
Bravo.
The last time I saw my next guest was at the United Nationalities of Marbella Summit. Maria Magando runs a lot of activities at the Marbella Rugby Club. It's a turn-off when you go towards the Elveria that you can miss really easily and then have to go all the way around again. So once you know where it is, it's really worthwhile because the club setup is fabulous. Very much, Maria, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
It's very much like I remember clubs back in the UK.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very kind of family orientated. It's super interesting because we've had quite a lot of clubs come recently from the UK and they've said, wow, this is amazing. You know, this is like my club in the UK. And they said, you know, that there's just this sort of great family feeling and it's just a real joy. Apart from we've got a lot more sun.
Yes, it gives a lot more playing time.
Exactly. Less rain, which they love as well. So, I mean, you know, we had clubs come Easter. We had Old Northampton Rugby Football Club come with actually 26 players and their trainers and also 50 supporters. And they all came on a family tour and we've been organising it for about a year. And it was just amazing. It was called the Marbella Fest that we have every Easter. And it was just amazing because it was just it was kind of had like a real sort of festival feeling and really nice to have people come from outside and tell me the same thing. You know, every club that I have that comes always says the same thing. They said, you know, it's a real great family orientated place where, you know, where the children are learning rugby, but they're also enjoying themselves, you know, in the family. So it's great.
The first time I went was thanks to Georgina Shaw of Shaw Marketing Services. And at that time, I was talking very much about our youth, the kids, the lack of having events for them. And she said, well, come along with me on a Saturday when her son was playing to the rugby club. How did you get involved with the rugby club?
A friend of mine told me that I should take my son, and he was about 3.5 at the time, and we arrived too early. And we were sitting there going, this is a bit rubbish. And it was at 10:30. And then people started arriving. And at 11 o'clock, he got on the pitch and started playing. And we hadn't looked back. He basically, after that first session, said to me, when can I go back? When can I go back? And I hear that quite a lot, which kind of fills me with joy because I think, oh, you know, that's so... It makes you really happy to know that actually people feel like this is their home. And it's really good because they've got a sport and they've got somewhere that they kind of meet people. And so I started in 2016 there with Rupert. And then after a couple of years, I started doing translating for some of the WhatsApp groups. And they sort of said, I think you should come and help us do a bit more often. So I kind of got involved on the management committee and managed my son's team. And I haven't really looked back. So it's been 6 years. And I have to tell you, you know, if you are new to Marbella, it's such an excellent place to meet people. Because I would say now, after all my time there, the people that I know in that club I would consider family. Because when you're here and you don't have family, sometimes, you know, you need that kind of support. And you get that support at that club, you know, and you make friends that you'll have there, you know, I know will have for life. So
I didn't have kids to go to play rugby, but when I went on that Saturday, I was blown away, not only because there's a cafeteria and you can buy bacon sandwiches and this and all very much that you can have food and substance while you wait for and watch your kids. but there was the atmosphere. Everybody was so friendly. Everybody talked to everybody. Everybody was looking just to make people feel welcome. And again, very much like I remember when I grew up back home.
Yeah, totally. And you kind of, and actually that's one of the things, sort of when people come and they're from England, they just kind of go, I didn't think you'd have a place like this. And, you know, Spain's, you know, and rugby in Spain is on the up. It's still in development phase. It's still not in the same sort of league as like England, Ireland, you know, or Wales, or, you know, all those sort of developing countries where rugby has been something that's, you know, been around for such a long time. But the people at the club, a lot of them have been there their whole lives as well. They started maybe when they were 14 years old or 15 years old. So their passion, they then, you know, help with the club and help with training, and their passion then really seeps through to the children. So it's sort of them passing on the baton to the next generation. And you know, my son, for example, he's 9 years old now and he's in under-10s. He's basically, those friends will always be his friends, and he's closer with those friends than he is his friends from school, just because he spends so much time, you know.
Also, it broadens their horizons. If you only have friends from school and then you don't live close to school, or whatever the reason, having that alternative group of people that you know you can hang out with is quite wonderful.
Yeah, and also kind of watching out for you as well, you know. They're not on machines when they're there. There is no, you know, screen time. They're just playing, and sometimes it kind of reminds me of it, like that whole kind of like Swallows and Amazons. You know, they're playing out on the field. They'll just have a match together, either of rugby or kicking in the pitch, and it's just quite fun for them to have that kind of, that not being on a screen, not watching TV, not watching an iPad, and they're just out, you know, making mudslides. You know, that's another classic thing they'll do. They'll basically get bottles of water and start pouring it down and make mudslides, and it's just, you know, it's a joy. They go home, they're exhausted, and you think, great, now we can relax, because they've kind of
bath and hang out for a while.
And that's the other thing, the mud, that, you know, we're really privileged to have a grass pitch, and that's something that, you know, we don't have.
In Spain, my kids went to like one of the best schools in Spain, and they had beautiful grass facilities. The kids weren't allowed to use them though.
Exactly, it's like
they had to play on tarmac.
Manicured.
It was surreal.
Exactly, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. Basically, and you just sort of think they should be able to get muddy. You know, it's the first thing they want to do when they see the mud. It's interesting because we have some teams come from Sevilla, and when they come, because they normally don't play on grass, they're a little bit like, oh my God, what's this? And our ones are like jumping in. They couldn't be happier. Our washing machines are not so happy when we get home, and there's many a time we have to get bin liners, wrap the clothes in the bin liners, and then take them home, kind of like half like caked in mud. But isn't that what everybody wants?
And it's a small price to pay when your kids come back happy and tired.
Exactly.
From a good day on the, fresh air.
And well-fed, and just, you know, great fun.
Also, they get experience with travelling, because you guys travel for competitions. In fact, you've got some fabulous congratulations news.
Thank you very much.
Tell us more about your under-10s, your under-14s.
Our under-10s and under-14s travelled this weekend within Andalusia, because it was the Andalusian Championships. So we had the school under-10s went actually to Jerez de la Frontera, and then the under-14s were in Granada. And they both came back champions, and the other ones did really well as well. There's sort of things on our calendar. One is the Melee, which happens in December, and that's a really important championship, which is condensed. It's about 8 teams. Then we've got the Campeonato, which is all the clubs from Andalusia that join for it. And then we've got the really big one coming up, which is at the end of May, which is the Campeonato de España. So we will be travelling, the club will be all going to different locations. We're going to Valladolid, Madrid, and also Lloret de Mar in Catalonia. So different categories go to different locations, and it's where we get the opportunity to play against all the other teams in Spain. And Andalusia is it's sort of growing still rugby, but in northern Spain it's obviously much more established. So it's quite a challenge for us to go up there. But we kind of, you know, we've got like a month now to train, and that's what's going on in all our WhatsApp groups. It's all like, we've done really well this weekend, but we've got this challenge coming up, so we'll be like training really hard and taking the kids. And this is the thing that actually somebody mentioned the other day. They had a son who was under 14, and they said he'd quite like to come to rugby. He found out he travels. He goes travelling with the club, and I said, yeah. And he was going, oh, they don't really normally do that so much with football. And I said, come along, he'll love it.
It's an amazing experience. I think it's a fundamental experience to be such a young age, and yet in a controlled and protected environment, go and do things that are just completely out of their comfort zones. Do you find that they get upset if they lose, or is it just a great way of them realising, participating, getting involved, doesn't matter if you win or lose? It's
I think one of the things that we always say is actually when they go to those tournaments, they realise that this is what it's about. And whilst we don't really want to overly pressure them into, you know, you must win, we want them to do the best that they can. And actually, playing against other teams is where they grow the most, because they then realise what level they're at and what they need to do to improve. And they come back. It's funny because I had a couple of parents who were really not keen. They were a bit worried about sending their children. And then when they went on the trip and they came back, they said, I can't believe it. They've come back and they've sort of become more independent and more grown up, and they've sort of had this sort of change in their chip. And I said, but isn't that fantastic to have that, you know, that maturity that they're able to, you know, they're a bit nervous. Everybody's a bit nervous. Sometimes you do need to kind of like, you know, I mean, I'm, you know, sort of, I'm always a bit like, oh, but then you think, well, they do it. And when they do it, they come back and they're so happy because they've achieved something, you know. And yeah, there's a bit of an argument to say, well, do we, you know, the competitiveness of it. We actually, in the rugby gradual in Spain, we say it's not competitive.
Excuse me.
That's okay. We say it's really not competitive. So there aren't kind of, you know, we don't say officially that they're, you know, there's champions, but actually, you know, it is a good opportunity for them to know, you know, how they're doing, how well they're doing, whether they're doing as well as this club or well, and they will always remember them. My son in sub-6, he went to his first championship, which was in Madrid, sorry. And when he went, he was so tiny, and we were sort of a little raggle-taggle team of like a small amount of children, and we didn't know what to expect at all. And they basically, the team just kept winning and winning and winning. We were like, oh my God, we weren't expecting this. And they got through, and they got through to the final. And the final, they played against a team which is one of our, you know, sort of biggest rivals and our greatest friends, Sant Boi in Barcelona. And they didn't beat, they were like sort of a small margin where they didn't beat them. But they were so proud of having done so well. And we were so shocked, and we were like, but then that was the bug. We were then, right, when's the next one? When's the next one? And I think that's the thing. And I see the children's faces, and that for me, you know, I work voluntarily for the club. The thing for me is when I see their faces, in Spanish you say, se enganchan. So they get hooked, and they get hooked. They might be playing a match, and suddenly you see in their face that they kind of go, oh God, I get it. I know what I've got to do.
You see the passion.
I get it. I see what I want to do, and their eyes light up, and then they're like, wow, you know, it's amazing. So yeah,
I had to cut her off.
Sorry.
She didn't want to come on the show because she was so shy. And the time's up. Maria, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Absolutely a joy. Marbella Rugby Club. Join. And if you don't join, just go along for coffee and to check it out.
Yeah, do.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
A big thank you to all my guests and, of course, to you all for watching. It's important that we share each other's information. Hashtag Better Together. 147 nationalities living our 27-kilometre coastline of our fabulous city of Marbella. What goes on is of interest to other people. Please do share the show. They'll be most grateful. You can watch the show. Normally the new show is on Thursday evenings 11 p.m, repeats on Friday morning, but also on social media and YouTube. You can come to the RTV Marbella website, or you can go to nicoleking.es for links to the programme, also to our Zero Hero website, offering free soft drinks for designated drivers in the participating venues, and of course my Euro Weekly News Marbella Moments column that every week shares just my thoughts on Marbella. Be nice to each other, take care of yourself, and please remember to join us again next week of more What's Going On in Marbella Now.